Hey everyone, welcome to this lovely little virtual tutorial that I'm going to give you guys. This is a lovely little series that I'm going to roll out for you at least once a week. We're just going to go through some of the shapes and some of the poses, and so when you do come to class, you can feel empowered and definitely execute these poses safely within your own bodies, because as we know, everybody's body is so different. So these videos are here to help you with your home practice as well as when you come into the studio and take any classes that you would like. So my name is Kristy. I'm the owner and founder of Optimal Yoga and Wellness here in Morinville. I'm also one of the teachers here, so blessed to have this space. So today what I want to kind of go over is just a really few basic beginner poses, some stuff that you can do at home after a long day at work and all that fun jazz. So let's just begin in a really basic child's pose. And I will walk through some of the props as well. Some of you may have seen some of our items here for sale. We do have half of the products available. So I can show you how to utilize these props as well to help you enhance your shapes. So one of the first poses we're going to do is a child's pose, one of my favorite poses. It gets us to the earth. It's very grounding. It's just an overall lovely, comforting shape. And you can execute the shape one of two ways. You can simply come to hands and knees. Big toes can be to touch. Let's see if we can put these cameras here. I think they're kind of in our way on that video camera there. Perfect. So big toes to touch. Knees can be as wide or narrow as you like. And again, it really depends on what's going on in your body, okay? So you can hang out here, walk the hands forward, sink the heart down towards the earth. Pillow can rest on a block or a blanket, or we have these lovely half or crescent moons in which you can rest your forehead directly onto the cushion. Okay? Or these lovely little blocks. These blocks are fantastic. These are great. However, sometimes it can be too much for the forehead, too much elevation. So sometimes these little cork foam blocks are really ideal to help bring the earth to you. So this is your child's pose, and once you get settled into whichever variation, one final variation I want to give to you, if you have a pillow at home, a long pillow, or one of these lovely big bolsters here from Half Moon, you can kind of just nudge it between the knees a little bit, and you can drape yourself completely over this bolster. Just making sure you do switch ears so you don't get a cramp in your neck. So you can definitely hold these shapes for about 10 breaths. You can set a timer for 5 minutes. It's totally up to you where you want to be. Every day is going to be different, right? So it just depends on what you're wanting, okay? So you can hang out here. If you're finding that you're getting a little bit of pain in the heels, or you need a little bit extra cushioning, again, a block, a foam, or one of these lovely guys, or even one of the narrow bolsters you can use as well. And you can place that between the heels and the bum, and you can kind of sink through from there. Okay? So you can do that with the bolsters as well. I'll show you with the prana bolster. You can execute child's pose through that way. So as you can see, with child's pose in particular, I've already given you like 5 different variations of how to get into just a wide-legged child's pose. I haven't even tapped into the other ones. So again, you can sit up nice and tall, see how that kind of elevates me a little bit. Some people just need that. And then sinking down. And again, you can use props. So it just depends on the style of practice that you're doing. Obviously, if you're doing the vinyasa flow, coming into child's pose with all the support is not necessary because it is a more active practice. Whereas if you're at home, you're just chilling, definitely a really nice shape to come into with all these props. You don't need these yoga props. You can use pillows, you can use blankets, you can roll them up. If you don't have blocks, books are a really good alternative. Just get creative around the house, right? You don't have to have these things. They're nice, of course, but they're not necessary for a very good practice. So that is your child's pose. Another couple variations you can do to get into the shape is you can bring the knees really together. You can again walk the hands forward. You can place a block here. You can even swing the arms behind you, completely resting here. And third option, bringing the elbows together. And I'll turn around so our other camera can see. We take the palms together here. Nice tricep stretch here. So nice sharp fin right over the head. And of course you would breathe and settle in. And what we want to do with this child's pose is we're releasing the low back, getting into our hips, our shoulders as we get the shoulders down the back when we're in here. So definitely a really great pose to do if you're feeling overwhelmed or overworked and you just need to get to the earth and you need to ground yourself. Child's pose is definitely a go-to, especially if you're feeling a little anxious. Come to the earth. So the next pose that I want to show you is a movement shape. So the lovely cat-cow pose. So when we come into cat-cow, you're going to come into that nice strong tabletop shape, okay? So again, that nice strong tabletop here. Getting the wrists right underneath the shoulders. Spread those fingers nice and wide, right? Because we have a nice strong foundation otherwise. So if our fingers are spread nice and wide, right, we have a much better foundation. Think of your house, right? So what we like to do in this pose is I like to just externally rotate my hands just a little bit, almost like you're screwing off a lid off a jar. Kind of that same sensation. That's going to externally rotate those shoulders. So coming into your tabletop, rolling the eyes and the elbows towards the front of the room. That's going to help with that external rotation part. Tops of the feet can be curled or untucked. It's totally up to you. It does change it slightly. A lot of the time in cat-cow, what we tend to do in our tabletop is we tend to really dip a little too much in our core. So see if you can hug that belly button in towards the low back to support the spine here. Very good. Reaching the crown of the head forward, gaze is down, tail points towards the back of the room. Don't lose that core. I saw you lose it. Pull that back in. Good. And as you inhale, you're going to bring that heart through. Lifting the tail, lifting the gaze. Letting the belly hang here, really just hanging out, being mindful of those shoulders. Good. And as we exhale, we draw those sit bones together as we start to round through the spine. Really pressing through the hands, getting a nice big stretch in between those shoulder blades. Good. It's almost as if there's like a hot fire underneath you and you're like, ooh, gotta get my tummy in there. And good. Let's inhale. Bringing that chest through, lifting the hip points up, the tailbone's up, tailbone is lifted. Exhale, rounding through that spine. Press, press, press. Really press into those hands. Feeling a big stretch in between the shoulder blades. Really important to get that stretch there. Good, inhale. Let's come back into that cow pose. And exhale. So this is really good to kind of get movement into the hips. Movement into the spine. Let's come back to that neutral spine. Good, nice tabletop, maybe just bumping the hips from side to side is always nice to kind of counter a little bit here. Perfect. So child's and cat-cow are really great, poses that you can actually blend together. You can start with cat-cow and then do child's, or child's and cat-cow. They're two really great movements. Another one that I want to show you is butterfly. Really good inner thigh stretch. Good for the low back as well and hips. So these three shapes or these movements are really light. At the end of the day, they're very simple. They don't take a lot of time. So for butterfly, I'll show you a few variations, okay? So if you do, again, you do not need a long bolster. You can simply use 2 pillows, not a big deal. Just make sure you have your blocks here. If you feel that you're kind of rocking back a little bit, maybe sit on the edge of one of the crescent moons, a pillow, or a foam block, or even a regular block too. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So really, it depends on what kind of a stretch you're wanting today. So sometimes some people bring their heels in really close into their groin, and that's going to give you more of a groin stretch, okay? If you take the legs out a little bit wider, you're going to get more of a low back stretch, inner thigh as well, just not as intense. So you can hang out here. I like to find happy medium personally. I like to kind of go in between my two edges. You can grab some blocks. Again, it just depends on the intent of the stretch. If you're going to be here for a while, find support. If you're not going to be here for a while, then you just hang out here and do your stretch accordingly. But regardless, do yoga at your own pace. So finding support, again, you can use a long pillow underneath the knees while you're in butterfly. So let's sit up nice and tall here. Blocks or no blocks, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get rid of my blocks just so I can show you here. You can grab the shins, the ankles, whatever works best. And you're going to lead with the heart, keeping a flat back just to really utilize that stretch. So again, if you were to do more of a yang butterfly stretch, so not as passive or relaxing or restorative, you would allow that stretch to occur by helping your hands here use a little bit of leverage on those legs to help get that foot forward. So this is a bit more of an active stretch, so this is definitely really good. I wasn't paying attention to my shoulders. Watch those shoulders, make sure they're away from the ears. I'm only human too, right? I have to do check-ins with myself as well. So just making sure you aren't pressing too far down onto the thighs, maybe gliding the elbows out a little bit to kind of assist you. And again, you're reaching that heart forward, coming down. But if you're in more of a passive stretch and you just want to hang out here for about 5-10 minutes, you can do that. You can get as comfortable as possible. You can even lay down if you like, up to you. So again, if you're looking for more of a passive stretch and you just want to surrender it in, you've had a very long day, you just need to breathe and calm down. You can always stack your blocks, your pillows, whatever you have, and you can just only hang out here for about 5 minutes or so. Or 5 breaths or 10 breaths, okay? So you have to ask yourself, with these 3 shapes, what is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for a passive stretch? Are you looking to just surrender, calm the parasympathetic system down? Or are you looking for a bit more of an active stretch, which is, again, in butterfly, you're pulling. Maybe in child's, your arms are a little bit more lifted and elevated off the ground, so maybe get a bigger stretch in that low back. So just ask yourself what the intention of your stretches are, and proceed from there. So those 3 are perfect. So let's put them together without the props, because let's face it, not all of us have all these awesome props, and that's okay. We can make do without them. So let's just put this all together, and we'll start with cat-cow actually. So just a little ditty, a little sequence for you out of these 3 shapes that we just did. So coming into your nice cat-cow, find some intuitive movement, bumping those hips from side to side, setting your foundation up, getting those wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hip points, rolling the eyes and the elbows towards the front of the room. Bring that belly button in to support that low back. Again, toes can be curled or uncurled. If they're uncurled, just gently press into the tops of the feet. Then let's inhale, coming into cow. Good. Exhale, rounding through the spine, coming into cat. Inhale, bringing that chest through, eyes, the elbows roll forward here. Exhale, pressing through those hands, rounding through the spine. Inhale, looking up, lifting that tail. Let's pause here. Couple of breaths. Let your tummy go, right? We're always holding on to our tummies so much. Just see if you can let them go a little bit here. Good. And exhale, let's round through that spine. Pausing here. Breathe. Feeling that big stretch in between the shoulder blades. Such a great stretch, especially if we've been sitting in front of our computers all day, our cell phones, our shoulders round forward. This is a really nice way to open up. Let's come back into that neutral spine. Bring those big toes to touch. Coming into your child's pose of choice. So Again, it just depends on where your body's at today. I'm going to come into a wide-legged. For those of you that were looking for that active stretch instead of the passive, if you're looking for active, just walk those hands forward, externally rotate so it's nice and active, hugging that core and that belly button towards the spine. So this is more of an active child's pose forward. Your forehead is lifted, forearms are lifted as well. Passive is just really allowing yourself to rest. Again, you can bring those knees together, have a bolster, whatever works for you here. So coming into your child's pose, again, we're working with out props, but if you do want to use them, by all means. And just breathe here. Maybe rocking your forehead a little bit on the mat or block or whatever you have your forehead on. Massaging it here. Just breathing, letting it go. Good. And again, you can choose to stay in this child's pose as long as you like. Let's come back up into our seat. Swing those legs around as you move into butterfly. So again, finding your butterfly of choice, soles of the feet together. I'm going to keep mine nice and active. You can definitely go into a passive here. I just did a bar class with Janelle and she definitely attacked my inner thighs today, so I'm going to stretch them out. So as we inhale, again, we're going to find length of the spine. We want that active stretch. You can use those shins, those hands, to help pull that heart through towards the feet. So I'm guiding my heart towards my feet here. Gaze is out in front of me. Shoulders are away from the ears, down the back. So again, if you're in a passive stretch, obviously you're going to kind of turtle into the shape and round. Whereas if it's active, we're bringing that heart forward. The back and spine is nice and long here, finding length. Reaching through the crown of the head. Bringing that heart forward. Yeah. Such a great pose. Good for the low back, inner thighs. Always being mindful, making sure you're not creating tension in your jaw as you navigate through the shapes, plus any other parts of your body. We want to eliminate tension. We've got too much tension going on throughout the day as it is. Let's do our best to eliminate it, or reduce it at least. Good, let's help ourselves up here. Coming back up to that seated position, closing your legs like a book, helping them out here. And you can lean back, windshield wiper those legs. Let's release the hips. And there, you are done for the little three mini ditty sequence that I put together for you. So those three shapes you can easily do, at any point in time at home, and when you just need to move your body or stretch. So those are three really good ones to start with. Have fun, play around, change up your sequences. Try active, try passive. Have fun with it. That's what yoga is all about. It's all about creativity. It's about having fun. It's about getting into our bodies and getting out of our heads so we can enjoy our daily lives. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, my name is Kristy. Please check out our website at oyw.com to take a look at all of our classes, and we look forward to seeing you on the mat and at